Hi everyone! How often do you think about lupus? I'm sure the topic doesn't come up often around your dinner table. Lupus is an autoimmune disease when your body's immune system attacks your organs and tissues. It's estimated that 5 million people worldwide have been diagnosed, 90% of whom are women. Most people develop the disease between the ages of 15 to 44. What's even worse, there's no cure. Let's talk about 11 signs of lupus you should not ignore. Do you lose weight out of nowhere? How do you explain strange rashes? Will you begin losing hair? We're talking all that and more. Number 1. Hair loss. If you have lupus, one of the most notable signs is your dramatic loss of hair. It comes out in clumps. Just imagine brushing and looking down to see a massive amount of hair in your brush. That's enough to make some people's hearts skip a beat. When you have lupus, your tissues become inflamed. This results in areas around your body swelling up. One of these areas is your head. Over time, the skin of your scalp won't be able to support hair follicles. Your hair will begin to fall out. At first, it'll happen slowly, with the rate of hair loss gradually increasing as time goes on. If the condition worsens, you may find that hair in your head, eyebrows, and even eyelashes are disappearing. The good news is that if you undergo lupus treatment, you might just get some of that hair back. Number 2. Swollen joints. Discomfort in your joints is common with lupus, especially after you've woken up. This is known as lupus arthritis. The inflammation will cause your joints to swell. This will give you that feeling of tightness. The joints that are affected the worst are in your fingers, elbows, wrists, knees, and toes. The stiffness will be at its most painful after you get out of bed, but it eases up as the day goes on. Not to worry though, similar to hair loss, there is an upside. Unlike rheumatoid arthritis, lupus doesn't cause total destruction to your joints. Studies show that fewer than 10% of people with lupus arthritis don't develop deformities in their hands and feet. Are you finding this list interesting so far? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and ring the notification bell to stay up to date on all our great Bestie content. Number 3. Headaches. If you have lupus, you've probably experienced crushing headaches. Pain in your head is one of the more common symptoms related to the disease. This is just one of the things that occurs when it affects your central nervous system. People with lupus are twice as likely to suffer from migraine-like headaches. These are commonly known as lupus headaches. They are normally a product of vasculitis, which happens when the blood vessels become inflamed. Number 4. Sensitivity to light. Having lupus might make you feel like a hermit living in the dark. Seriously, sunlight becomes your enemy. If you have lupus, you develop photosensitivity. This is when your body becomes sensitive to UV rays from sunlight and other sources. This can trigger all sorts of additional symptoms, including rashes on the skin. If a lupus patient steps outside or into a room with fluorescent lighting, they may notice awful rashes, sores, and lesions around the body. Perhaps the most visible skin reaction is a butterfly-shaped rash that surfaces before the bridge of your nose and cheeks. This rash appears in about 50% of people who suffer from lupus. If you suffer from this disease, a doctor will recommend you wear proper sunscreen as well as clothes that will shield you from dangerous light. You may also be advised to limit your sun exposure from the hours of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is when the UV rays are especially intense. Number 5. Fever. If you find yourself with an unexpected fever, this may be a warning sign of lupus. This illness will show up for no apparent reason, meaning you'll feel fine one day and then wake up feeling miserable the next. Keep in mind, this fever normally remains low grade. This means your temperature will be around 98 to 101 degrees Fahrenheit. Any temperature over that is considered high grade. While the fever might disappear after a period of time, it can come back. The lupus fever is normally caused by inflammation or infection. If you have a fever, a doctor will prescribe medication that will prevent the fever from getting worse. Number 6. Kidney inflammation. Within the first 5 years of lupus, you'll develop an inflamed kidney. Well, at least 60% of lupus patients will. The other 40% have enough to worry about already. Inflamed kidneys will make it difficult for the organs to filter out toxins or have better control over your bodily fluids. This condition is called nephritis. Your kidney has something called nephrons. These are the structures that filter the blood. As a result, your blood pressure will spike. You may also notice blood in your urine. Not fun at all. Number 7. Fatigue. Lupus makes you feel tired. While some can overcome this fatigue by shutting their eyes for half an hour, others won't be so lucky. Some of you will get tired with a capital T, and I don't mean the kind of tiredness where you feel like taking a quick power nap. This will make you want to pass out anywhere. It'll also be hard for you to get out of bed in the morning. The reasons behind why exactly fatigue occurs in lupus is unclear. Most experts attribute it to certain medications, terrible mental or physical health, and age. Either way, between 80 and 90% of people with lupus will experience some form of fatigue. If you're feeling the extreme kind, be sure to talk to a medical professional about how to handle it. You don't want to be sleeping during the day. This develops into insomnia since it will be harder for you to sleep at night. Number 8. Gastrointestinal problems. Lupus can bring on several gastrointestinal issues you haven't dealt with. These include heartburn and acid reflux, but can also extend to gas, bloating, and constipation. Gastrointestinal symptoms occur when your muscles aren't properly moving waste through your intestines. If you've been dealing with these symptoms, switch up your eating habits. This means a smaller portion size on your plate. It's also good to cut back on the caffeine. Try your best to stay awake after a sugary meal as well. This will allow your insides to function better. But before we continue, are you concerned about the state of your lungs? Check out our latest video listing 11 ways you'll get a respiratory infection. Now back to our list of 11 lupus symptoms you should never ignore. Number 9. Oral problems. Lupus can really do a number on your oral health. It can cause you to experience uncomfortable dry mouth as well as cracked lips. This is something known as Sjogren's syndrome. Sjogren's syndrome is an autoimmune disorder that interrupts the proper function of glands that produce saliva. Aside from dry mouth, people may also notice red sores in different areas of the mouth. This includes the lips, gums, and roof. However, these are usually painless. Here's where it gets creepy. You see, signs of thrush can come out of nowhere. Thrush is a condition where yeast-like fungus begins to grow in your mouth. It's brought on by a number of illnesses. Number 10. Bumps on your back. If you're suffering from lupus, you might feel tiny bumps on your back. These are called lymph nodes, small reactions that are usually triggered by your system to fight off infection. While lymph nodes can be found all over your body, bumps on your neck are normally associated with lupus. Normally, neck bumps aren't visible, but in the case of lupus, they're very noticeable, not to mention extremely uncomfortable. Bumps usually serve as a sign that the disease is getting worse. After a while, the lymph nodes will become painful. Just lightly touching them will hurt. Number 11. Weight change. If you're suffering from lupus, you'll lose weight unexpectedly. Have you ever gotten up and checked the scale in the morning only to see that you've lost a crazy amount of weight a little too quickly? This is one of the first signs, and definitely one of the most unpleasant. Certain medications don't make your weight situation easier. Different treatments can cause you to lose your appetite. Since you're not eating what you regularly eat, you're going to shed the pounds pretty quickly. At the same time, these medications can also cause you to gain weight. In order to prevent this weight gain, reduce your calorie consumption and exercise on the regular. Do you know someone with lupus? Did they show any of these signs? Let us know in the comment section below. We would love to hear from you. Enjoyed this video? Hit like, share, and subscribe to Bestie. Wait! What kind of bestie are we if we don't tell you about our other awesome videos? Go ahead, choose the left or right video, and enjoy.